Call the meeting to order. Shall we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, let's have a moment of silence for the passing of our retired police officer, Joseph Rivera. All right. We need to make an announcement regarding parking layout for National Night Out and the fireworks show. Bill?
I believe everyone knows, but I just want to repeat it, and I know Horsham and Patch will help get it out, as well as Dan Golden. The parking is primarily going to be at the high school and at Comscope on Tournament Drive, 101 Tournament Drive. We will have 3 buses running from Comscope and 3 buses running from the high school down to National Night Out and the fireworks. Additional parking will be Kohler Park. The front parking lot will be closed. Those will be parking only for the vendors of National Night Out. Keith Valley Road will be closing at 5 o'clock p.m. And the lots in Carpenter Park on Horsham Road and Davis Grove Road will be open to the public. Also, the soccer fields, Horsham Soccer Association has canceled their practices and games for that evening, so their parking lot will be available for National Night Out and the fireworks. The Babylon Business Campus is going to be, we haven't put it out yet. We're meeting with the owner tomorrow. He has always given us his business campus parking for Horsham Day, as well as the farmers market, as well as to the school district for many of their events at the stadium. But Tuesday night is a lot different than Saturday night. So he has a lot of tenants that have second shifts, and the TNT volleyball and precision gymnastics and CrossFit. There's a couple pediatrician offices in his campus that have evening hours. So his office business campus will not fully be open for public parking. So we're meeting with him tomorrow and going to figure out where the public can park and where they can't. And we'll be putting out a map for that. So that is my announcement for parking. The easiest thing is just go to the high school or go to Comscope and grab a bus is the easiest advice I can give anyone.
Okay, thank you. And what day is that? August the 5th?
Tuesday, August 5th.
There we go.
National Night Out is 6 to 9 p.m. and the fireworks are at 9 p.m. Start at 9:15 p.m.
Perfect, thanks. Next item is opportunity for questions and comments from the public. Got a question or a comment? Okay. Next would be approval of list of checks. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the list of checks in all funds in the amount of $492,473.24 and further move to authorize payment of same.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Ayes have it. Next would be to review zoning hearing board applications to be heard in August. The first is Carl and Kira Heiselmoyer, 202 Southview Drive, HTZHB 25-13. Bill?
This is a residential application in our R4 zoning district. They are looking to do a detached garage in the front yard. And in order to do so, in their application, they have a front yard setback and impervious coverage. The impervious coverage in this zoning district is allowed 25%. And if they were granted what they want to do, it would be go up to 39.5% impervious coverage. The front yard setback in this district is 50 feet, and they're requesting a 17-foot front yard setback. So it's, if you look at the diagram here, this is south view. In the yellow square, or the square in the front yard, is where they want to put this detached garage in the front yard. We also, when someone submits a zoning hearing board application, we can't add to it, even though we advise. So the staff advised the applicant, the resident, that most likely, to our view, they would also need a side yard setback. They declined to put a side yard setback in their application. It's either, the garage looks like it's either touching the property line, or it's maybe a foot away from the property line. And of course, that's not our setback in that zoning district. So if you look at the property itself, these properties are not that large. As you know, they're in our R4 zoning district. It's a single-family home already with an existing driveway, has a pool with a large concrete area around it, has a shed here, has something here. It well exceeds our zoning limitations for this zoning district, and to add a detached garage in the front yard, which is very out of sort, not only in this zoning district, in this neighborhood, but in Horsham. The staff's recommendation is going to be that you consider being opposed to the application.
Send a letter or just be opposed?
My recommendation would just be to send a letter. I think our zoning hearing board will see when they see this application, and then when they see it, that it just, the property, it's not the residents, they're just asking for something they would like to have. But the property, as I said, well exceeds our zoning limitations. I think your letter of opposition will suffice.
Everybody good with that? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Bing Kai, 475 Caldwell Lane, HTZHB 25-14.
This is in the Horsham Valley Estates, which is in our R3 zoning district, and they would like to do an addition, a deck, out the back with the roof, and that's what kicks them into the zoning, is adding a roof. And this is not unusual in this neighborhood, in this district, but they're looking for a rear yard setback variance. So in this district, a rear yard setback is 30 feet. If they are granted this, it's a deck with the roof over the deck, their backyard would be 19 feet. This zoning district, Horsham Valley Estates, is it's large homes on small lots. So, and if you look in the neighborhood, that type of addition to the home, pop it up real quick for you, and I'll try to get the lights back on. So this is the house here. As you can see, there's been additions here, there's an addition here, there's a garage here. So as you can see, that there's bump outs, all through the neighborhood. So for this family to put a deck on with a roof over it is not unusual in this neighborhood, and these other families have been granted variances to do the same. So the staff recommendation would be neutral.
Question on this. So I know that this neighborhood is allowed to have different rules because of the retention basins that were put in when the neighborhood was constructed, like in terms of impervious coverage, etc. If every home in the neighborhood did a roof with a deck, does the retention basin cover? Because when you have a roof, it then becomes impervious coverage, right? Like a deck itself wouldn't be impervious, but a roof does.
Correct. Yep.
So I know Eric's not here tonight, but I did just have a question on the math on that, because as you point out, it is fairly common, and just making sure that it covers, like, should everyone in this neighborhood, because as you said, we've gone neutral on these types of issues before, but if every house in that neighborhood did this, would the retention basin still cover the amount of impervious coverage that is created from all of these?
I can't technically answer that, but this application, they don't go over their impervious coverage. It's just a rear yard setback, so adding this roof on this property, they don't
Yeah.
go over their impervious coverage. But that's something that the staff does look at in neighborhoods, especially, we try to, even when someone does go over the impervious coverage, the staff tries to recommend limiting, because you're right, some of the older neighborhoods were designed with no stormwater control, and some of the newer neighborhoods have limited stormwater control. So we do look at that internally at the staff level when we recommend things to council.
And what's the impervious coverage allowed in this neighborhood?
I do not know that off the top of my head.
It is higher than our typical 20%?
No, this is R3 with an open space preservation neighborhood, so it's probably around 20%.
The reason all these people come in for these variances is because of the open space preservation and the fact that they put the houses in a little tighter because the open space is at another area. If this was built without the preservation, they probably wouldn't need the request for the variance. It just has to do with where things are situated.
It's just, I was just curious, like I said, it was more of an improvement. And I know that that's not what this is here for. This was just, every home did
That's
this.
the issue on these. It's almost always the setback, not the impervious.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, because the others that have this kind of bump out also got a variance for the rear yard setback, or is this one larger than the others?
I didn't do that research.
Okay,
I just did a satellite photo that just
Got
takes that this isn't uncommon in the neighborhood.
Right. okay.
Had
And
one
that was
last
part of their application too. Okay, thank you.
So we good with neutral? All right, thank you. We'll move on. Next, we have to consider a resolution establishing a time and a place for a public hearing on the Horsham Water and Sewer Authority, 945 Tennis Avenue, conditional use application. It's being recommended for Wednesday, September the 10th, 2025 at 7:45 p.m. in this auditorium.
Just to touch, and actually on both of these, your next two agenda items, they are private well owners that have contamination in their private wells. So the Water and Sewer Authority are trying to get them connected to the public system, and to get from the street to their homes, they have to cross a tributary in the riparian corridor.
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, establishing a time and place for a public hearing on the Horsham Water and Sewer Authority, 945 Tennis Avenue, conditional use application, Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, at 7:45 p.m. in the Horsham Township Municipal Building, 1025 Horsham Road.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Mr. Glemser, how do you vote? Aye. Ms. Slaff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Wade, how do you vote? Aye. Ms. Chunky, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next is to consider a resolution establishing a time and a place for a public hearing on the Horsham Water and Sewer Authority, 22 Meeting House Road, conditional use application 2511 CU for Wednesday, September the 10th, 2025, 7:45 p.m. in this auditorium.
Move to adopt the resolution as proposed, establishing a time and place for a public hearing on the Horsham Water and Sewer Authority, 22 Meeting House Road, conditional use application, Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, at 7:45 p.m. in the Horsham Township Municipal Building, 1025 Horsham Road.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Mr. Glemser, how do you vote? Aye. Ms. Slaff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Wade, how do you vote? Aye. Ms. Chunky, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
And I vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Last item is to announce that our next Horsham Township Council meeting will be Wednesday, August the 13th at 8 p.m. in this auditorium. We also want to announce National Night Out for Tuesday, August the 5th again,
and our fireworks on that same evening, Tuesday, August the 5th. So, with no further business, meeting adjourned.